Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pineleaf. I have arrived in Henneth Anoon, and it appears we are behind a waterfall because it is quite noisy in here. Hello there!
We must keep fighting, but to what avail?
I hope you didn't hear too many chuckles as we arrived. You informed Dormac that you heard a few, but do not understand their context. I did not realize that so many of my brethren knew of you and your deeds. They think me a bit of a fool for taking such precautions with a friend of Onborn and Moblong. They also looked so amazed as I led you in. But how was I to know? There have been too many travelers in Athelion as of late. I stand by my decision, and I hope you can understand the wisdom of it. Welcome to Henethanoon, the window of the sunset, and our last refuge. Well, I hope it doesn't get to be too bad in the future, and that you may be able to have things well. Let's see. Window of the sunset. Well, it's not sunset right now, but it obviously faces west. Now, what do I do while I'm here other than getting away from that really, really, really loud waterfall? Hi there.
It is good to see an ally in such dire hour.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pineleaf. Oh, Dornock is a careful man, and that has always been a boon to our company. This time, I had the benefit of giving all of us a good laugh. In the end, we have reunited as I had hoped. You're here, and there is much to be done if we are to clear the way for the host of the West. Alright, and what do I get for this? I get some gloves. Alright. What all do I do with these gloves? Well, probably don them at some point, but apparently I have a few rangers here to help, and there are rangers all over the place. Ah, Pineleaf, it is good to have you amongst us once again, my friend. We have won a victory over the enemy, but the war is not yet over. Ithilien is a precarious position and stands as the only remaining barrier between the lands of the enemy and of Gondor. The northern reaches of Ithilien border on Daggerlad, the dread wastes of the Dark Lord, and his forces rally there even now. If the host of the west seeks to reach the Black Gate and draw full the ire of the enemy, they must first pass through Ithilien without great loss. My men and I know that these lands well, and we can teach them much of them and how to gain advantage over our foes. All we ask in return is that you offer your skill in driving back the forces of the enemy until the host of the west can reach Daggerlad. Moblung has been eager to speak with you since you arrived, and I would ask that you introduce yourself to Rodrog and Leoglaw. You, ha- you have not met them yet, but they know well of your deeds and in the great battle. Okay, I need to speak to Moblog, Rodrog, and Leoglaw. Apparently Onborn also, because there's also a quest ring on him. Ooh, let's see. I'm not gonna worry about that. I need to find a ranger encampment of Penantanut. I need to find the. Obviously, I have a place to tag into to say, "Oh, I found the place," even though I'm inside of it. Somehow they couldn't make that room a checkpoint for having found the location, despite the fact that if you do any of the quests in this area, they're not going to let you get in that way. Let's see. I presume that to do the epic part, I go this way. Anyway, it helps my ears feel so quiet after hearing the waterfall in my ear for the last couple of minutes. All right, now where were we? Reputation vendors. I'm sure that's one of those trade quests that they have in here. Oh, yes, I need to speak with the stable master anyway.
How may I help you, friend?
Just give me a place to go. Now, find Ranger Encampment. How do I find it, even though I found it? I will presume it's going to be from the road where I'm supposed to find this location. You realize that you're being watched moments before a ranger emerges from hiding. So which ranger is this? I hope he's not going to blindfold me again. If you are a scout for King Elisar's host, you have my welcome. It is my dearest hope that he intends to make such a racket as his army moves through Ithilien, for there are no foes that could fail to notice his progress hither. It's my dearest hope that he intends. Okay. Okay. Is that the reason he's making such a racket? Well, yes, he is most definitely intending to make a racket. You're not going to be able to miss the army coming through. Not that it's easy to miss an army coming through, I have to admit, unless they're specially trained or something like that. And somehow I think a bunch of Rohirrim that we have in there, mounted Rohirrim, are not exactly what I call stealth fighters. Yes, the ways of secrecy are ending, it seems. King Elisar marches to Mordor in a great procession, and with the sounding of trumpets, and so too must the Rangers of Ithilien give up some of their secrets. Still, those ways don't go easily. From Noon, we have harried many of our foes, passing like shadows through the window of the sunset and back again under the cover of the darkness. As you are a friend of the king and of Gondor, I say that you may see what you will of our secret retreat. Find the descending tunnels, the main cavern, and the lookout point. But I warn you, do not set foot into the forbidden pool. That is an insult to us, and we have never allowed it unpunished, of course. So, let us then head inside into this cavern where we have never been before, right? So let's head into the cavern and look for the various areas, explore the descending tunnel and the main cavern and the lookout point. Well, we know where the lookout point is. The hidden path is narrow and treacherous, and it descends into the earth. Alright. Good. And so that's probably just a rep quest. Yeah, Scrolls of Empowerment. We will head on down and find this. But this is a descending tunnel. Now it's getting noisy. And it goes deep. Actually, let's go into Warden. Well, actually, Warden speed might not be the best idea when you're going down these. Sometimes it... The refuge of the Rangers is not luxurious, but it is comfortable enough.
The earth has reclaimed the deeds of men and orc, fair or foul.
I have heard much of you, Pineleaf, and I am honored to meet you at last. I have spent most of my years in Ithilien guarding the northern reaches alongside Lord Faramir, but so much has occurred in recent days. I have learned some of the enemy's plans in Ithilien, and would be glad to share them with you if Onborn or Moblong have not already asked something else of you. Oh? I'm not too sure which sense they meant that, whether he would have but I can't because they have something else for you, or if it means that he will if they have nothing else for me. We'll find out.
Be quick, tell me everything.
You're a skilled warden, it seems. You're not one of us, however. The Rangers of Ithilien have held back the forces of Mordor for generations, and spared far-away lands of horrors of Mordor. I trust my captain's judgment, and to that end I trust you. I just hope you do not mistake yourself for any of the brothers I have lost in the long fight against the Dark Lord. The aftermath of the great battle has changed much, yes, but our duties remain firm. We will protect Gondor and all those loyal to the host of the West. You're on the front lines now, Pineleaf. Let us hope you're skilled as they say. Yeah. And now, what we have here? Moblung. Ah, Pineleaf! I heard much of your discussion with Obmord, and he speaks true. We won a great victory, but it is certain that the hardest days of the war still lie ahead. The Dark Lord misjudged the strength of Gondor and Rohan, and it is unlikely that he will do that a second time. The forces he commands within Mordor and beyond are still many, many more than any defenses that we can repel. I'm glad to have you at my side once again, and I hope that we can clear away in time. Yes. I have to have one as storied as you among us is a boon to us all. These are bright days for Gondor and for us, in spite of any looming foes. My men are in good spirits, and the hope has not yet faded, nor should it. If you are prepared, we must begin to act against the enemy's forces in Ithilien at once. Of course. Now they have all sorts of quests, but I think I need to go to that third spot, which is the lookout. I presume the lookout is a location where you could look out to the west, free of waterfalls. That would probably mean up here instead of down. Oh, twist, 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 do the twist. Ah! Look at this. From this vantage point, you can see the Forbidden Pool and much of what surrounds us. Alright, there you go. I guess that's the Forbidden Pool down there. And we have a river going off into the distance. And I need to talk to Aragorn outside of Henethanoon. So apparently he's going to have some task for me. Ah, I see you arrived, sir.
Enemies may remain hidden by the beauty of this land.
Our journey through Ithilien has reassured me that it remains beautiful. But this sword cuts with both edges, for enemies can still lurk unseen among the pastoral beauty of this land. As the Rangers of Ithilien surprise their foes, so too can those foes seek to surprise us. Travel further ahead to the northeast and look for signs of trouble. Gullestein tells me that there's a location to the northeast that might offer a good vantage point of the road ahead. Orendil, a ranger of Ithilien, went to that location and might have seen something. Alright, so I will head out that way as soon as I've talked to the rest of the rangers within. I'm back with the rangers, and I'm back with Rodrog. Could you aid me in something, Pineleaf? In the haste to our return, the brethren and I had forgotten to set traps along the Henethanoon. These traps provided us an easy source of meat from the nearby beasts, and also keep wandering foes from straying too near to the refuge, as long as the army doesn't trip the traps. I know it might seem like a simple task, but if the war continues as it does, we shall have need to move meat of more meat and materials. The falls protect the western border of Hanathanoon, so it is best to lay the traps to the south and east. I await your return. Alright, so I need to lay 8 traps in that direction, so that the enemy has no safe passage. And what does Onborn need? I have a favor to ask of you, friend. Swift was our return to Hanathanoon at the battle's ending, and we had little time to tend to the wounded. We're hardy folks, but an injury is an injury no matter the man. A few of our number suffered wounds still, and I hope to heal them before the battle is rejoined. The lands of Ithilien are home of many useful herbs and flowers, and among them kingsfoil. A mere weed in the eyes of many, I know of its restorative properties in the hands of a king, as well as those of an able healer. I have studied this kingsfoil potions and salves that you bear, and I believe that you might have some skill to heal my men. Yeah, that's right. I guess they're talking about all the Atlas potions that characters carry around them. Search the foothills to the west for kingsfoil, and that often grow on the slopes beneath Hanathanoon. There you have gathered as much as you can bear. Bring it to my men and heal them as best as you can. Be swift, finally. Why can't I just give them some Atlas potions then? Well, anyway, and Moblunk. Strange company. Being back in Hanathanoon has stirred my memories, Pineleaf. Before you and I met in Osgiliath, our company was stationed here, and Lord Faramir still held command. Through my years in Ithilien, I have encountered both beauty and terror, but surely nothing stranger than what we found one night. We discovered 2 halflings and their strange pet creature. I swear this true. They spent time amongst our company and spoke much of the Lord Faramir in hushed tones, but we came to know them as best that we could. I have some tales to tell you of their time here, but I did not overhear as much as Onborn in our initial encounter with them. If you wish to know how we came to find them, you should ask Hanborn to tell you the tale. Alright. A pair of halflings. Well, I can guess who that pair would be. I mean, what other halflings could have gotten into Ithilien before I arrived? I mean, it's not too difficult to figure out which one that is, of course, unless there was a pair from... I can't even remember the from now. Yes, a pair from Inenwet came traveling around, which sounds rather unlikely. You wish to know the strange company that passed through Ithilien? In truth, I wish I had more to tell. A few amongst our number spent time with them, but their stay was brief, and their purpose were kept secret, except to Lord Faramir. Well, that I could understand, considering that if it's the Hobbits, I think it was, yeah, they would have been keeping things secret. I can describe what I beheld during their time here, but you will have to speak with the others if you desire to know more, of course. I shall not soon forget the night that we encountered the halflings. We had caught sight of a fire in the distance, and worried the orcs were drawing near to Hanathanoon. Faramir called us to arms, and we set out at once. What did they find when they set out? We have to find that out in the next episode of The Complete Pineleaf.